Hello and welcome back to Ridebook TV, and welcome to a very cold, windy Wales. Now, for the last 10 days, Jack has been rocking around in a Volvo XC60 engineered by Polestar and has not stopped banging on about it. So what I thought I'd do today is invite him here and bring a direct comparison. And this is what I've chose. It's the Range Rover Velar P400e. It uses a very similar drivetrain to the Polestar, a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine with a lithium-ion battery as well. When both of those are working in tandem, you've got a smidgen under 400 horsepower and 640 newton meters of torque, which by any means is a lot. That means that this Range Rover can go from 0 to 60 in just 5.1 seconds, and if that doesn't impress Jack and show him that there are other cars in the world, I don't know what will. But anyway, I think I can just about hear him coming over the wind. So let's go and have a chat to him and show him the Range Rover Velar. Here he is then, in the pretty good, I mean, I kind of like the look of that anyway, but I'm sure he's going to get out there and I go, oh, this is so good, why have you brought me here? Morning.
Hello. Why have you brought me to a freezing cold Wales?
Well, I think over the last few days you've been enjoying this a little bit too much.
I love it.
Yeah, I've guessed that with the constant texts and constant calls. This is amazing! You've been doing to me. What a machine!
It's brilliant. I absolutely love this car.
So I thought I'd show you that there are other cars in the world other than this car. Because, yeah, you've not stopped talking about it. And I also know you've got a bit of a soft spot for these.
I do. When I was coming up the road and I saw it, I was like, he's bought another one that I like. Yeah.
So, I've not only brought a Velar, I've also bought a 400 horsepower Velar, hybrid, pretty much the same as you've got in this Polestar.
So very similar then.
Completely similar, these two cars.
Very stylish family SUVs that hybrid, plug-ins, petrol engines. So what's that, P400e?
P400e, yes, a 2-litre 4-cylinder. I've already said on the video before, but I haven't told you yet. So 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine, lithium-ion batteries, a smidge, so it's actually 398 brake horsepower, 640 newton meters of torque in this thing.
Right.
5.1 seconds to 60.
So a lot more torque in that, because obviously it's 415 brake from a 2-litre supercharged, turbocharged, hybrid,
You've got that
all the usual stuff. But it's only got 495 pound-foot of torque, I think it was.
Okay.
So more torque, more brake horsepower, both 4-wheel drive, both hybrid. I like that.
Yep, I know you do, which is why I brought it. So what I wanted to do is basically get you in the driver's seat of this and just, well, show you the alternative really. So I think let's jump into this, get out of this horrible wind, and let's go for a drive. Yeah, let's go for a drive.
So here we are, interior.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I like the Velar as well.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I do like the interior of the Volvos, but there's arguably a better case to be made for the Velars, isn't there?
Model year 2021 as well, so new steering wheel, the new systems here, so PIVI Pro, big improvement over the previous system.
I like all this glass down the centre console, the architecture of the dashboard as well, the way it sweeps in towards you, and this kind of soft touch material.
It's weird, isn't it? I don't know what it is. Like
diamond finish with
diamondy.
Yeah,
it's lovely though. All soft leathers and the materials are really good. But I think
Range Rover, isn't it?
You're going to be really impressed with the drive. Obviously, I've driven it over here. I'm not going to tell you what I thought until we head out. So I think we'll
get it started up.
Let's get it started up and let's get headed out.
What are we in? Hybrid mode.
Yes. So
we're starting a good place to start, doesn't it? Right. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's roll. It would help if you put it in gear.
It does.
That would help. Yeah. Put it in drive first, and we'll head out.
I do that all the time.
So in terms of the hybrid stuff, it can charge on a fast charge in like 30 minutes to 80%, so it's pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay.
At home, an hour, 40 minutes, and you'll get around 33 miles on a full charge.
You get about, okay, right, so the Volvo is probably sitting at around 25 to 30 miles on a full charge, and it
takes similar real world, isn't it?
Yeah, it takes about 40 minutes to 80% from empty. From completely empty, I did charge it at home on a 3-pin plug, it took just over 2 hours.
Okay.
So they're not too far off each
Yeah, they're
other.
very, very similar.
I think this just kind of edge it though at the charging point.
Slightly, slightly. Another thing with both of these cars, benefit in kind.
Yeah.
No, this is 11%.
Yeah.
11% on one of these.
I don't know the exact figures for that, but I know that the car, when I checked on the company car tax calculator website, it was under £200 for you. £200 a month, which is a lot of car for
isn't it?
not much money.
Yeah, it's an awful lot of car.
It's very comfortable, this.
Very comfortable, very quiet as well. So obviously we all know that 2-litre 4-cylinders aren't the most tuneful of engines. So what Land Rover have done is fit external microphones to monitor external noise, and then the speakers in here basically replicate certain bits and make it as quiet as possible.
So
you actually
it's doing the opposite to what the Volvo does, because when you put the Volvo does have quite a bit of engine noise in there, but that's, I think, because it's the Polestar engine.
Polestar, yeah.
They want you to. It's not over the top. It's a very Swedish way of doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
You do hear the supercharger, you do hear the turbocharger, but very, very quietly. They're not too intrusive.
You barely hear anything.
No, that's the.
You can't hear the engine. The engine's on now. We're not in like a complete EV. It's just the engine's on.
Yeah, and it's
but
really,
you can't hear it, can you?
No, I can hear the fans. And that's about it.
Yeah. The biggest noise in here is actually the air conditioning.
Yeah, the air conditioning.
That's mad.
Right, so yeah, I'm getting a feel for this one then. So it's very Velar. I've driven a few of these before, and it's exactly as I remember. Big, comfortable, boaty Range Rover drive.
Yeah.
It hasn't got that sharp, sporty edge about
very
it.
Comfortable. Very, very comfortable. I think, as I say, it's incredibly easy to drive.
Yeah.
Really, really good feel through the steering, I found. Suspension just soaks up all the terrible roads that we've got in this country really well. I think as an everyday car, it's so impressive.
It's got a good case for itself, hasn't it?
Really good case. However, what I want you to experience, because I know you've been smashing around in that and telling me how good it is, let's put the car into dynamic.
I was going to say, as the road opens up down there, let's drop
dynamic mode, there you go, so dynamic.
Let's get around this corner first.
I think you'll be surprised.
Right, okay, that's clear down there, isn't it? Oh, okay. Yep, that picks up quite nicely.
It goes well, doesn't it?
Yeah, that picks up quite nicely. Doesn't have the same agile through the corners. There's a lot more body roll in it, but the tyres are gripping and it just pushes through. That's really nice, isn't it? Just pushes through those bends. See, the Velars I've driven in the past haven't been the P400e. So I've not driven anything with this much power in the Velar. So I've not felt how the chassis sort of handles this much power. That is
handles
nice.
It very well, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's smooth, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it feels so fast as well on the road. It's
inline 4-cylinder.
Yeah,
it feels extremely smooth. It gets quite narrow down here.
Yeah, it does get quite narrow. No, the thing that surprised me is the same as you. I've driven a handful of Velars in the last few years, and the way that this car handles 400 horsepower is really impressive.
Yeah,
it's not it's not a sports car, is it? Let's be honest.
Accelerate down here.
Yeah. Like, it's effortless as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's so effortless.
Brakes are good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I can see why you brought this along. It doesn't have that raw, sporty edge, like I say about the Polestar. It's quick. It's really smooth. It's smoother than the Polestar. There's not. You don't really feel like you're driving a 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
2-litre engine. Whereas you do sort of feel that in the Polestar.
Yeah.
This doesn't. This hides its weight quite well. It feels heavy. Don't get me wrong. But because it feels a lot smoother, it feels like a straight 6, doesn't it? It feels like a 6-cylinder.
It does feel like a 6-cylinder to me.
It doesn't have that sound that a 6-cylinder has.
But it's smooth, which is a really characteristic trait of a 6-cylinder.
Yeah.
Which I don't know whether it's obviously the hybrid powertrain and the EV bit helping it out and making it smoother, which I imagine it is.
Smoothing that power out nicely,
But the power delivery is really linear, and it just pulls and pulls and pulls and attacks. Really, these roads are terrible.
Yeah, I was going to say, that bit of road just there we've gone over, you wouldn't know on the camera that we've just been through all those potholes. Yeah. This is unbelievable how it's just muting it all out. Yeah, okay, no, I see why you brought this along, and you're reinvigorating my love for Velars again. Yeah, this is such a fun road.
It's good, isn't it? No, it's okay. Enjoy it.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a very impressive car. This.
It just holds on.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So you're impressed?
I am.
Very impressed. That's good.
I am very impressed actually. It does have that boaty-like characteristic that you do get from a Range Rover.
It's comfortable though, that's what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be...
That's a nice bit of road.
Nice, that bit is. It's not supposed to be a sports car, and it isn't one. So for a high-riding SUV hybrid as well, this is the way that hybrids are going, then count me in for it.
And I guess another selling point of this being the fact it's a Range Rover, we have got, it's more than just dynamic and EV mode, we've got proper green lane settings, all terrain, so it is good for a bit of green lane and off-roading, and which, you know, on that Polestar it does have those mega cool 22-inch alloy wheels.
They're so cool, those wheels. Absolutely
incredible, but you wouldn't want to be on a slippy bit of terrain with those sporty tyres and wheels up there with you.
No, I'm glad you like it. I think it's a brilliant car, this.
I think what we need to do though is head back.
Yeah.
And I think you need to have a proper go in the Polestar.
I was going to ask that because I would quite like to have a go in that.
I know you've driven it already, but
not much
just,
though. It's a very fleeting little
straight bit of road.
Yeah, so I'd very much like to drive that car.
So we'll head back, you jump in that, and then hopefully on this bit of road you'll be able to really experience what those Öhlins dampers that car's got.
Perfect.
Yeah. Right, we'll head back.
So here we are then in the Polestar. Straight away, I will say I like this interior. However, I'd probably prefer the Velar's interior. Yeah, side by side. Yeah. The quality of this is good. Lots of leather, it's lots of nice soft stuff. Very, very good. But there's not as much thought, I don't think, given the fact that it's the same interior across the entire lineup of Volvo. Pretty much. Whereas I think with the Velar, they've kind of gone, let's make something a bit more stylish. A bit different. Yeah, a bit different to the rest of the range. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, because it is. It's functional, it works really well. It's high quality as well. It's not very high quality. It's not cheap materials. We've still got a lot of soft touch plastics and stuff everywhere, and aluminium and nice leathers and metals and things like that. But bright yellow bed. This is, bright yellow bed. That's mad. But let's be honest, this is more about the drive. So it is. Looking forward to this. To say I have driven this already, but about 5 minutes on a totally straight bit of road, and the way that you've been banging on about how it handles and all the dampers and all the brakes. So the good thing about this is you don't have to switch your driver's mode to experience the dampers. They're just there because they're old school. You trust them yourself at the tops. Well, the little dials on top of them. So no matter what mode you're in, you've got that crisp handling. Feels much sharper already. Straight away, doesn't it? Much sharper. Very little body roll. Yeah. So what power is this again? Just remind me. 415 brake horsepower in hybrid mode and in Polestar mode, and it's got 495 pound-foot of torque. It's not bad, is it? Yeah, those brakes immediately you can feel are so much sharper. Yeah. Steering is much sharper, much crisper. Corners really flat, doesn't it? Yeah. But the compromise on that, and this is nowhere near as comfortable. This is the thing that's going to make you choose between this and the Velar. Yeah, you can feel straight away that this hasn't got the same sort of floaty, handles every pothole really well kind of feel. It'll probably show up on the camera as well. You'll see that we're moving around a bit more in our seats. There's a little bit more lurchiness to it. But at the same token, I'm not going over these roads thinking, oh, my back, I'm not looking forward to driving this for a week. It's not like driving an Aventador SVJ, is it? No. It's not like having your face dragged behind the car. It's still comfortable, but it's quite interesting actually. If you were to drive this in total isolation, you'd be like, oh, that's really comfortable. Yeah. But straight after the Velar, you then start to notice the differences between them. Yes, but as you said, you'll notice with the engine as well, you hear it more. Yeah, 100%. Like the Velar is so deathly quiet. You can't hear anything thanks to obviously the audio systems that Land Rover have put into that. And this, you do get, I think there's a bit more road noise as well. Yeah. Probably thanks to those amazing, massive wheels. Huge wheels, yeah, 22-inch wheels. But they make the look of the car, don't they? That's one of the striking features. They really do. They really do. So you're driving it in hybrid mode at the minute. Yeah. I'll let you get round here. We got, yeah, if you go down to Polestar Engineered. Oh yes, let's have a bit of that. Now you hear a bit more audio coming through, don't you? So this is where you start hearing that engine. And again, it's not a beautiful note. You're not sat there thinking, oh my god, that's straight 6 or V8 or whatever it might be. It is still just an inline 4 turbo. It does go very well though, doesn't it? Yeah. And it handles, that is very, very impressive for a car like this. Yeah. So again, it gets very narrow here, so let's just slow it down. We don't want to prang these wheels, do we? Because I can't imagine they're very cheap, those wheels. No. Diamond cut as well, I think. Yeah, and there's the tyres are a really odd size. Yeah.
so there's not many of them about. It's not like an off-the-shelf item.
Goes, doesn't it? It does pick up and go very, very, very well.
The other thing to note with this is the gearbox has been tuned by Polestar as well, so it's not the standard gearbox you find in the rest of the lineup. What they've done with it is made it hold the gears slightly longer.
Yeah.
To help extract a little bit more power. That's where most of the extra power comes from, the fact that it's holding out for longer. And when you corner, it won't change gear in the corners, because they know that it'll just unsettle the car and stuff. So it knows when it's cornering, and it'll hold the gear that you're in until you get out the corner, and then select the correct gear the other side of it.
That's very useful. Very, very useful. But now I think I'm very impressed with this.
It's nice. It is.
It's amazing. So let's sum up these two cars then and our thoughts on them. It's amazing how two cars that are very similar in a lot of ways, both with around 400 horsepower, both hybrid systems, do the same sort of thing very differently.
Yeah, gone two different sort of
they've
like
gone complete different tangents, really. So I would say that I would sum this up by saying they're both brilliant.
Yep.
They both do it very differently. So this is much more sporty. It feels sharper, feels a bit rougher on the road though.
Yep.
But it's obviously, again, depends what you want.
Depends what you want from the car, doesn't it? And that's why I've been banging on about this so much, because
this is your kind of car, this, isn't it?
It does. It's that midway point between being that young yobbo hooning around in the performance car and taking all that compromise and being like, we take the Mini GP for example.
Yeah.
Fantastic car. Brilliant car, but to live with.
So hard, that car is.
Any sort of mileage that we've done. I mean, I've had this for 10 days, just under, and I've done 689 miles now.
That's pretty good.
Doing that in a Mini GP, my back would be broken.
I did not far off that, and it is just.
So it's a good compromise from being the young yobbo that wants to hoon around in a sporty hatchback or a sports car, versus I'm not ready to admit that I need something comfortable because my back hurts. Do you know what I mean? So this is a car that fits that gap really, really well, and this is why I keep coming back to the Polestar, because it does have that fun factor, and it's not so uncomfortable you couldn't live with it, but it's also not so rugged and hard that it becomes a compromise. Yeah,
which is where the Velar comes in as an incredibly comfortable alternative.
Yes.
Like it's I think it feels just as quick as this. However, it doesn't have that edge in the corners. It doesn't feel as quick around the corners, but in a straight line, as I say, I think it feels just as fast.
Yep.
However, the Velar is much more comfortable.
Yeah.
So again, we'll come back to that thing that we do most of the time, is it comes down to personal preference. Yeah, it depends what you want personally from your car. I mean, personally for me, out of these two cars, I would probably go with this, and I'm pretty sure you would say
100% this for me right now, where I am.
But that is nothing against the Velar.
No.
That's just the fact that this is the kind of thing that we want, the kind of thing that we would like, that our demographic would probably go for something like this. But again, there'd be people our age as well that would go for the Velar. Yeah,
because they're not into the sporty, agile driving characteristics of a car.
Again, like most of these things, we drive two cars, they're both great, and we're so impressed with both of these cars. Don't get me wrong, we're not putting either of them down, because they are both brilliant in just different ways. So again, it comes down to personal preference. But we want to know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments whether you take this, the XC60 engineered by Polestar, or the Velar P400e. So that's it, really, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
Let us know.
There's not much more we can say about both cars.
We've summed them up quite nicely, I think. And if you'd like any more details on either of these cars, do please use the links in the description of this video to contact either the guys at Range Rover or Range Rover Volvo for more information.
Really. And don't forget to, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that little bell icon for more videos to come, because Matt and I have got
we've got a lot of stuff coming.
Got a lot of cars to get through.
A lot of cars. So we will catch up with you guys next time.
Cheers, guys.